Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. I got a few DC updates for you, including Superman and Lois, the CW series. I also got a few nuggets about ZACK SNYDER'S Justice League, including a comment from Ciaran Hinds. And I also have something about The Flash. And the last piece is maybe an editorial about The Flash, but I would love to have a conversation on whether The Flash is really soft rebooting the DCEU. Let's find out. Now, before I get into that, I have to thank my newest member of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you so much for joining the Ping Pong Flix Show family, Sid Rosal. I think I said the last name right. Let me know in the comments below if I didn't. But thank you so much, Sid, for joining the Ping Pong Flix Show members family. I hope you all have enjoyed the exclusive access videos. And also, of course, I have to thank the rest of the subscribers here today. Thank you so much for liking my videos, subscribing, and ring that notification bell for pretty much your daily DC content. So on with the show. The first topic of the day today we're going to talk about is additional casting for Superman and Lois. This is coming from the Illuminati. Now their track record for movies have been off and on, but and I'm not sure about TV. Maybe they do have a lot more exclusivity in terms of TV. So this is coming from Illuminati. As Superman Lois inches closer to its 2021 premiere date, presuming COVID-19 complications don't delay it further, the upcoming CW series is closing in on the rest of its cast. Previously, the show revealed the members of the Lang Cushing family, all of whom are new to DC Comics side from the first love, Lana herself. They also cast Lois and Clark's two teenage sons, Jonathan and Jordan, and it was revealed at DC Fandom that they will each be dealing with disparate needs and perhaps embroiled in a love triangle with young Sarah Cushing. Well, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that. So not only that's possible that even Lois, Lana, and Clark have some kind of triangle, or at least alluded to, there's going to be a love triangle between the young Sarah Cushing and Jordan and Jonathan. It's very CW stuff. The Illuminati have also previously broke several casting calls and character descriptions back in March, and now we're back with a few more. Among them is at least one very significant character in DC's rich history, Mercy Graves. Now, this is what they think. They think it's Mercy Graves, but it's not quite clear yet. It's nothing official. Like they said, they're just assuming. First and foremost, a woman in her 30s and of open ethnicity is listed as Leslie, considering that she is described as the right-hand man to the world's arguably most influential figure. It's pretty easy to guess this is none other than Mercy Graves. We've already seen a Berlanti-verse version of her in DC Universe's Titans, but in Superman and Lois, she's an embittered and hardened employee who was once a dreamer. She's described as physically fit and strong, which makes sense if she's going to fulfill any of her Amazonian bodyguard duties from certain versions. For now, she's a major recurring character, but who knows what the future holds. Over at the Smallville Gazette, it looks like Lois Lane will have a young reporter to mentor who may be an original character. Chrissy is a female reporter in her 20s, and while the description says open ethnicity, also emphasizes the search for an actress of South Asian, specifically Pakistani descent. Chrissy apparently has foot-and-mouth syndrome, but is an ambitious individual whose dreams of something better take hold after meeting her idol. It's starting to really sounds like Smallville, like the Smallville show. Might that be a Superman idol, be Superman or Lois herself? Either way, she's geared for longevity. Finally, Sam Foswell is a recurring character in his 40s who is the latest editor of the Daily Planet. He may seem rough and irascible, but he's a big softy on the inside. Everything about him screams Perry White, except for the idea of being newly minted, since Clark was dealing with Perry back in season 2 of Supergirl. But like I said in this, because of the whole crisis thing, this is a post-crisis world where Clark and Lois have two teenage sons. So why not make Perry the rookie editor of their old haunt? It's possible. So we'll have to wait and see if any of this comes true when Superman and Lois comes out in 2021. It is currently, still undergoing through COVID testing, but they're, reported to be starting to shoot real soon on Superman and Lois. All right, so that is it pretty much for TV. Let's go into one of my favorite movies or miniseries, and I'm already calling it a favorite, and I know it will be. It's coming out in 2021, and that is ZACK SNYDER'S Justice League. Recently, a new cast member has come out to comment about the Justice League Snyder Cut, also known as ZACK SNYDER'S Justice League. Ciaran Hinds comments on ZACK SNYDER''s Justice League announcement. Okay, here we go. This is coming from NME.com. Hinds played Steppenwolf in the DC Comics movie. Ciaran Hinds has hailed ZACK Snyder's vision for Justice League after it was confirmed that the director will get the chance to unveil his original vision for the maligned superhero movie next year. Snyder's original cut of DC Comics movie was set to arrive in 2018 before personal tragedy forced him to step aside, with Joss Whedon overseeing the final months of the film's production. And also to note that Ciaran Hinds did say to Jason LeBoy back in 2017 how that was not the film that he made, and he didn't like it at all. So adding to that, Hinds, who played the villainous Steppenwolf in the movie, said it was fantastic that Snyder will now be able to release the movie in its fullest form. It was his dream to realize it, and I think it's fantastic that he's got this opportunity to realize what he wanted to do in the first space. He told NME he has the chance to recreate what he had wanted to do, and I hope it stands up to the trial it's been given. His comments come after Warner Brothers launched an investigation into the conduct of Joss Whedon and producers Jeff Johns and John Berg during their time on set. I also want to add that actually it's Warner Media who is launching an investigation on Warner Bros. Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg in the superhero epic, previously accused the director of gross and abusive behavior during his time making the movie. When asked if he witnessed the similar conduct during his time on set, Hinds explained that he was separate from the rest of the cast while filming, with his role heavily reliant on motion capture. Hinds explained, all the work I did was mostly completely solitary. The pickups I did were just in a studio in London. I was a gun for hire who came in to clean up one or two bits they wanted to do, but I really wasn't there long enough to form any particular opinion apart from trying to help fulfill my contract. So that was Ciaran Hinds' comments on that, and just wanted to add that his role, essentially, he will be actually, because of the form of the story and Zack Snyder's Justice League is said that he's going to be interacting with Ray Porter, who plays Darkseid, Peter Guinness, who plays Desaad. So they're going to have that interaction together. And of course, Steppenwolf is going to be the main villain of Zack Snyder's Justice League, and we're going to get to see in all his spiky glory. So that's kind of awesome. And it's great to hear. I'm wondering how much of the dialogue was changed, right? This is Ciaran Hinds. Ciaran Hinds. He's going to have some fantastic, you bet Chris Terrio is going to give him some pretty awesome Shakespearean even dialogue. So I can't wait to hear this guy talk. I can't wait to hear the potential of a Ciaran Hinds Steppenwolf, the version that he really wanted to come out, the version that he really liked before the movie came out, and he ultimately just said, that's not the movie I wanted. That wasn't the Steppenwolf I played. No. So I'm glad that he's speaking out. I'm glad that he's excited for this. And I'm really ready to see his version of Steppenwolf at this point, right? So, but a little bit more about Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut especially. The Snyder Cut community raised $250,000 for the AFSP. This is a graphic that actually I think Nick D actually made it, but Zack Snyder had shared it, closing it on $500,000. This community is incredible. Why we fight. Over $250,000 has been raised by the Snyder Cut community for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And agree. I mean, we got to remind ourselves why we did this, why he's doing this, and it's all for the betterment for society and for people out there. We're literally saving lives, as Zack Snyder said in this effort, and this movie just represents all that, including giving back, really, just back to the community for anybody who is depressed or bullied or needs someone to talk to, and anybody who ever even thought about taking their own lives, right? So the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention will help you in that respect. So, and all this money that was raised through the Snyder Cut campaign, and still is, will be going to the AFSP. So congratulations, guys. But the fight is not done. The fight's not over as we continue to fight and continue to give to the AFSP. Like I said, the Snyder Cut community is amazing, incredible. And if you still want to, find a way to give back, and if you've never gotten this shirt yet, this is the associate producer shirt. I have one right here. Let me see if I can blow this up for you so you can see it. This is the associate producer shirt right here. And on the back is where you get to sign your name, as you are pretty much he's crediting us to being associate producers for Zack Snyder's Justice League, as we all did our part. Every single one of you, from the first person to even said that it existed, to the person who tweeted all day long, even if you just donated like $1 or even said release the Snyder Cut, you've earned this. You've earned this associate producer shirt. So if you haven't got one yet, please go to the site. I'll link it in the description below. On this shirt alone, has been raised $38,690. As way past its goal, 300 sold. You can go and get your hoodies, your shirts, anything that you want. You can get multiple ones as well if you want to see. And I think there are other shirts here on 4th, but I decided to throw this one on because this one, kind of represents autumn. So why we fight, indeed. All right. Now, let's get on with something that is going to production, hopefully, after it goes into production on this movie. Fantastic Beasts 3 has begun filming. Why am I talking about Fantastic Beasts 3 filming? And this is just really short. Eddie Redmayne, who plays the primary and protagonist in this movie, revealed that Fantastic Beasts 3 has begun filming. And in Fantastic Beasts 3 and the other Fantastic Beasts is Ezra Miller. So Ezra Miller is contracted to shoot this first before he gets to the Flash. So now that this is actually begun filming, that gets me excited, because as soon as this is done, we're going to get to the Flash production, and then I can't wait for that to start. Imagine that starting, and we're getting to see these, behind the scenes. You see Michael Keaton in the suit. We're going to see Ben Affleck in the suit. Maybe even Henry Cavill, Superman, Nicolas Cage. I don't know. Sky's the limit at this point, because it is kind of like a multiverse type story. But hearing this today, that Fantastic Beasts 3 has finally begun filming, gives me great hope that we're going to get to the actual Flash filming. It has been delayed forever. I'm not kidding. The Flash has been delayed forever. Multiple directors, multiple productions, multiple scripts. With the only thing that is pretty much the same throughout is that Ezra Miller is still the Flash. And so we have to get to the point when we can actually believe it's coming out, when it actually starts shooting. So now that it's Fantastic Beasts 3 is shooting, finally, let's get it over with. Hurry up and shoot that thing so that Ezra Miller can go and shoot the Flash. So, as you may know, I'm not really a big fan of Fantastic Beasts, but I mean, the first one was entertaining, but I'm generally not. I'm more of a DC guy, as you can see here, so I can't wait for him to start working on the Flash. Now Next piece is kind of like an editorial piece about the Flash. This is coming from the Nerdist today, and this may or may not upset you, but I want to discuss it because it has been going around that the Flash might New 52 the DCEU, according to the Nerdist. And this is really coming off of Barbara Muschietti talking about how the Flash is in a way restarting something but not forgetting something, right? So that's essentially what they're trying to say, is that they're going to focus on a certain timeline but not forgetting that the other ones exist and the other universes can continue, like Zack Snyder's Justice League, like the Snyderverse. If everything goes right and everything is in place, then Zack Snyder could potentially continue his Snyderverse, right? But I wanted to read this to you because it is something that may happen. I'm not going to lie, it may happen. This is Warner Brothers after all. And as Ray Fisher's situation, Jason Momoa and people in Warner Brothers, that situation, that controversy proved that Warner Brothers has not given up trying to change the DCU into something that they want, and letting Zack Snyder go over on HBO Max and do what he wants, right? Because if they actually allowed Zack Snyder, then we would have saw Zack Snyder's Justice League over at Warner Brothers. But no, Warner Max is taking care of that. Warner Max appreciates Zack and his Justice League, and they're letting him do whatever he needs to do over on HBO Max. So Warner Brothers. This is the topic from the Nerdist. I'm going to read it to you here. How the Flash might end New 52 New 52 the DCEU. One of the big revelations to come out at DC fandom surrounding the upcoming and long-awaited big screen version of the Flash, as fans have long suspected, the film will be at least somewhat based on Jeff Johns' 2011 comic book series Flashpoint. And that's because Christina Hodson had said that her first into the Flash was the Flashpoint comic. Although many changes will be made, the spine of that storyline will seemingly remain the same. Flashpoint finds a Scarlet Speedster going back in time when he was a child to prevent the murder of his mother. In doing so, he alters reality in the classic butterfly effect sense. When he returns to his present, the world he knew has totally changed for the darker. Aquaman's Atlanteans are at war with Wonder Woman's Amazons. A young Bruce Wayne was murdered in Crime Alley, turning his father Thomas Wayne, who survived the attack in his timeline, into a more extreme and violent Batman. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the changes in this grim reality. To fix all these problems, Barry Allen goes back once more to allow his mother to die as she was meant to, while his reality reverts back to something a lot more recognizable. It is still not exactly the same as it was originally. The story allowed for DC Comics to soft reboot their entire line of comics. This gave us what was referred to as the New 52 era. Since there were 52 initial titles in the launch, and if we were to guess, the DCU is about to use this very same tactic with its The Flash movie. At the fandom event, producer Barbara Muschietti said of the Flash movie, Flash is the superhero of this film because he is the bridge between all of these characters and timelines. And in a way, it restarts everything and doesn't forget anything. Okay. So what do we think this means? The Nerdist, I'm just really clear, this is not what I think, but the Nerdist thinks the Flash will soft reboot the DCEU in much the same way as Flashpoint did the comics. What is working will remain in continuity, but that what didn't click with audiences will be altered, if not outright deleted. But the Flash character will remember it all, so it would all still count to him and ultimately to us as the viewers. That's interesting. So in a way, not forgetting everything because Ezra Miller's The Flash will remember all of it. And in that way, it still exists in a certain sense. But the story they're going to tell from there on is essentially like a New 52. When DC Comics launched the New 52, they were at a crossroads. Sales were not great on several DC titles, so the entire line felt stale. So the higher-ups used the Flashpoint event to restart books that weren't working. When Flash restores his proper timeline, the more successful titles like Green Lantern and Batman reverted to their normal continuity, while the likes of Wonder Woman and Superman underwent huge changes. It was their have their cake and eat it too approach. That's interesting. I've actually mentioned that many times. The DCU is in the same pickle now. A lackluster response to Batman v Superman, and especially Justice League, means that a reboot of the cinematic DC universe is in order, but one that spares huge hits like Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Thus, the Flashpoint approach is the answer. Now, that story has been going along for a while now, ever since BVS and even Man of Steel, maybe. They're always talking about, oh, we got to reset it. Oh, we got to reset it. So this is typical blogger stuff. And not to in a negative connotation. I'm just saying because it's a blog, but that happens. They always talk about when are they going to reset, reboot because of Batman v Superman's lackluster appeal, a response. But it almost made $900 million worldwide. If the upcoming The Flash movie follows the premise of the comic, Barry Allen will go back in time to stop his mom's murder and return to the present to find that the universe has changed. That's true. This will probably explain why Michael Keaton's Batman replaces Ben Affleck's Batman. Thus, he'll have to repair his timeline, but won't be able to fix everything. Almost assuredly, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman and Jason Momoa's Aquaman will stay as we know them. But this storyline just might erase things like the theatrical version of Justice League entirely. So there you go. You can at least erase that from canon. This means that Warner Brothers could bring back Henry Cavill as Superman, but could also change whatever they wanted to do about his recent circumstances without worrying about continuity. In this case, Zack Snyder's Justice League could continue with the evil Superman, Nightmare, and they have a kid at the end, things like that. And it would not have anything to do with this Henry Cavill's version of Superman in the Flashpoint after Flashpoint. It also means they could totally replace Cavill with a new Man of Steel should they choose. And similarly, not concern themselves too much if everything doesn't match. They can keep Affleck's Batman or replace him with Pattinson. And no matter what they change, the presence of the Flash as a constant would underline that everything we've seen still happened in a matter of speaking and still counts. Okay. And I know a lot of people have talked to me about, well, can they, since it's the multiverse, can't they use Pattinson now instead of Batfleck if Ben Affleck doesn't want to continue and he truly is saying, I'm signing off on Warner Brothers. This is my last movie for the Flash when it comes to the Flash. I'll still be doing Zack Snyder's Justice League, but I'm done with Warner Brothers. And that could happen. I mean, and that also, it depends on Robert Pattinson. I don't know. I feel like he's more of a Joaquin Phoenix type actor who wants to explore other, roles and stuff, and he doesn't want to do this in the long run. But you never know. Maybe he likes it. Maybe he likes the attention now. I don't know. But so that is a possibility because of the multiverse and because of what the Flash is going to do. Of course, there are pitfalls to this approach. The haphazard style of the New 52 continuity in the comics eventually became unwieldy and hard to follow. But it's one thing to maintain a new coherent continuity across dozens and dozens of comics over several years, and quite another having to do the same thing with just a handful of films a year. I agree. But we think they can pull this off. At the end of the day, it might be the most elegant approach to what could have been a much messier situation. So like I said, I'm very I'm not very eager to talk about this too much. I keep it this picture. This could happen. This could happen. And I never thought about this actually could happen until they said Michael Keaton was going to be a Batman, and Michael Keaton was going to be a very substantial role and could possibly lead to other movies here on out. I didn't really take fact into the Nick Fury thing because I think it was just their way, the blog's way of trying to get you to understand what type of character Michael Keaton is. So, but that being said, this is also a plausible outcome after the Flash. Like the Flash movie is going to be big. And I am excited for the Flash movie. not only because of how many multiple cameos that could possibly be in that and how big of an adventure it could be, and it could essentially be kind of like a Justice League movie in itself, but the fact that it will give us a clear idea of what Warner Brothers wants to go on from there. What is Warner Brothers canon, right? We know what Warner Max could say that Zack Snyder's Justice League is canon for that media. Greg Berlanti can say that the CW is his canon, his DC canon. What is Warner Brothers canon? Do they have one? New Line Cinema, which is essentially the Shazam universe, they have their own canon in a way. And maybe Warner Brothers will have their own canon, right? And this could be it. This is where we get to find out what they're going to do in the Flash movie. So be prepared that they could essentially erase Ben Affleck's Batman from the Warner Brothers canon, the cinematic canon, and leave him to have his own stories told over on HBO Max. Because it doesn't seem like maybe it could be that, Ben Affleck just doesn't like some executives over at Warner Brothers still yet, right? And I encourage you to read The Cut by Justin Midside to really grasp a little bit of those negative feelings towards that studio. But this could happen. We could have a new Superman, or we could have Henry Cavill as Superman. I believe Henry Cavill is going to come back as Superman. I really do. I'm hoping, I really do believe it could be. But it will be a different Superman than Zack Snyder's Justice League Superman, right? It will be more in line, kind of like the Superman that he've always wanted to play. He's always wanted to play that hopeful Christopher Reeve version of Superman, right? Maybe minus the trunks. But he could have this. When the Flash comes back, when he goes through an adventure through the Flash, and he comes back, like in the Flashpoint in the comics, the timeline he comes back to is not the same. It's not what he left off with. He comes back to a different world, to a different universe in the comics. If Christina Hodson is utilizing Flashpoint comic to be her kind of basis of her understanding for the Flash and understanding the story, then we have to take into factor in that the ending of that is also in her mind as well. And if that's the case, and the studio says, yes, this is the route we're going to take, Ben Affleck really only had one more contract with us. Henry Cavill, if you believe or not believe if he's already re-upped contracts or not, whether that be true or not, we have to come to terms that Zack Snyder's Justice League isn't a story they want to be integrated into their Warner Brothers lot. Okay? I mean, we just have to come to terms with that. And we could have a new DCEU coming out of the Flash. And they could still keep Aquaman. Like you said, they could still keep Jason Momoa as Aquaman. They could still keep Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. But they could change elements elsewhere, other elements of the Justice League and of all the characters and of the world that occupies what Flash has done. Because when you finish the Flash, they're going to try to make you understand that Ezra Miller still remembers what it was like before. Like if there was a new Batman coming out, he could say, I remember my Bruce. I remember the Bruce from before. I remember the Clark from before. I remember the Superman from before, and that's, if they don't continue with them, they could, I'm just saying. So this is all if and buts, right? So that could happen. And so when I read this, I'm sad. I feel sad about it, but I've also have come to terms that this Warner Brothers, even though they've changed and not that much, but AT&T is still trying to figure it out, that there are executives in there who still don't want the Snyderverse. They still don't want that. But Warner Media does. Warner Max cares for Snyder, and that's fine. And so this is Jim Lee saying, everyone can have their cake and eat it too. Greg Berlanti can have his cake and eat it too. Walter Hamada can have his cake and eat it too. Jim Lee can have his cake and eat it too. Zack Snyder can have his cake and eat it too. Everyone wins. But it might be unhappy for a lot of you fans who are listening today about this. But just be prepared is what I'm trying to say, that there may actually will be a new universe coming out after this Flash movie. It may just happen. So we'll see. All right, guys. Well, that is it for the news for today. I hope you enjoyed what transpired today, and I know you probably have mixed feelings about that Nerdist article. Comment down below. If you disliked it, you can hit dislike if you want. I don't care. Or you can hit like. But as long as you enjoy this daily DC content of DC movies, shows, and video games, hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and keep this hot dog light on. And I'll see you next time.